Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Junior Spacey here, also known as Mar. I figured I'd come in with a pretty different video today, talking about my health and also doing some sort of get ready with me kind of thing. So yeah, if this is what you're into and you kind of want to learn a little bit more about what's going on with me, especially when it comes to PCOS, then stay tuned. So yeah, y'all, where do I even begin? So basically I have something called PCOS, which stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. And basically what that is, based off what I'm reading on Google, it's a hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. The cause of polycystic ovary syndrome isn't well understood, but may involve a combination of genetic and environmental factors. So, what does that mean? Honestly, it's really hard to describe, but I'll just do my best to describe to you my experiences with it. Polycystic ovary syndrome means that for some women, not all, there are cysts on our ovaries that can do a bunch of nasty things to your body, such as delay your period. It can cause a lot of pain when you're menstruating. And when I'm talking about delay your period, I've heard of stories of women who haven't had periods in like a couple to a few years, at least consistently. In my case, I do tend to have regular periods, but the problem that I have is it just delays my ovulation. So basically, I don't ovulate when I'm supposed to, which has made things very difficult for me, especially since being married. And one thing for me is the fact that I've always wanted children. And in order to make children, you have to ovulate. And unfortunately, that just hasn't been my case. The thing is with PCOS, it also carries a higher risk for miscarriages, unfortunately, with women who suffer through it. And it also has a bunch of other things. Like, y'all, I can list a bunch of things that happen with PCOS, and it's not fun. It's just been such a difficult journey dealing with my hormones. And like it said, it's a hormonal disorder. So for some women, we deal with the pain and it just hurts some days when we're having our period, like more than others. Some people deal with the delays in their period, like I said, or like for a lot of us, we deal with skin problems. In my case, I deal with a lot of acne. As you see on my face, I have a lot of scarring from acne as well as eczema. And that's all over my body, unfortunately. But I always used to think, oh, maybe if I just get, I don't know, a new face wash, or I've gone to dermatologists and they've prescribed me with different types of retinoids and things like that. And it's not worked. Come to find out, in my own research, it would have to be me having to figure out what's going on with me because doctors just could not figure it out. I thought I was going crazy for the longest time. Honestly, I'd go to the hospital all the time. My hormones and my mood would be so out of whack that I thought that I would be going crazy. And that's something else that hits with PCOS. A lot of women who deal with polycystic ovary syndrome, we have a lot of issues with our estrogen balance and our progesterone balance. Sometimes we just produce too much testosterone, which gives us things like decreased sex drive, or some of us deal with no sex drive at all. I know that was a thing for me. Some of us deal with lubrication issues. Like, it's a big issue for a lot of women who are just trying to live normal lives. And there was a point in time where I got so sick and so fatigued and just so out of sorts that I couldn't even leave my bed. And it was more than just the depression of not knowing what was going on with me, but it was genuinely just this overall fatigue. I thought I was really, really sick. Like, I did as much research as I could. I figured if no doctor was trying to tell me what was going on with me, I might as well just do my own research, right? So from what I looked up, and y'all, Dr. Google can be helpful, but so scary at the same time. I went through everything. Like, I thought I had lupus. I thought I had Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune disease. I thought I had an autoimmune disease just based off of how tired I was. Down to multiple sclerosis. Can you imagine? You're going crazy so much. It was to a point where my hormones were out of whack so much that I could not walk. I was literally I just couldn't walk. I was on a cane for a little bit, and it was terrifying. I thought I was having a stroke at one point, and come to find out that I had a severe B12 vitamin deficiency. Just that. And PCOS absolutely just wreaks havoc on your body. It wreaks havoc on your life, your mind, your hormones. You just don't really know which way is up. But I know that I had asked God multiple times, and He is so faithful, y'all. He is so faithful, because He won't just do it for you, but He'll strengthen you while you go through it, and also give you the solutions. After all my research, I started to make the connections as to what was wrong with me. It wasn't MS, it wasn't Hashimoto's, it wasn't an autoimmune disease. I had to go back into my history and figure out truly what was going on. And that's how I landed on polycystic ovary syndrome. The Lord really delivered me when it comes to my health, because I was asking and praying that I would lose weight. Also, I gained 40 pounds from last year, January, from when I met my husband. I gained so much weight that it just, I went from a size 12 to a size 16, 18. That's a massive jump. For me to just even think about food, think about a sandwich, I gained 10 pounds. I joke with my friends all the time about that. But I needed something to be done. My skin was going crazy. I was starting to get a lot of facial hair and body hair in places that I do not want to mention. And I just started to feel hopeless. And so I got down on my knees and I really prayed to the Lord. I humbled myself. I said, Lord, you are taking me in a direction that I am just at a loss for thought and a loss for words. I just need you to bring me to a place of understanding on how I can come to just not fear what's going on in my life and not fear what's going on with my body. And it didn't take long for Him to really answer my prayer. All He did was more than enough. Now I got so many resources on how to take care of PCOS. I went back into my history, my health history, and I started to connect the dots and just pinpoint my symptoms. And I changed my diet. And y'all, when I tell you, food really, really does a number to your health. Food can change your health in such a way that you didn't even know. And honestly, there's some things that are being produced in American food, the processed foods, the sugars, the carbs, all of those things, they're really not good for you. At least it wasn't good for me. And so what I started to do, I took out gluten from my diet. I took out sugar from my diet. I took out even dairy from my diet. And I love cheese. I love milk. I love yogurt. I love all the creamy dairy things. But just for the sake of my skin and for the sake of my gut health, I just had to give it up. And there are other alternatives. I'm not the biggest fan of dairy alternatives for things like yogurt and things like that. But, it's a sacrifice. And the Lord helped me to realize that in order for me to get out of my own way, I have to be humbled. And being humbled comes with making a lot of sacrifices, because our flesh wants something, but it really just affects our spirit severely. And I realized that I got to a place I was so focused on trying to get my body back together that I was losing sight of my walk with the Lord. You see, my husband came in while I was doing my makeup, trying to tickle me and stuff like that. I love him so much. And he's been such a wonderful supporter through my journey, listening to my blubbering and my mood swings and things like that. But yeah, the Lord really got me to a place of being humble, and I'm grateful for it because it allowed for me to lean back on him and just cast all my cares on him. And that's one thing I'll say to encourage all of y'all who are dealing with any kind of health issues, especially my PCOS girlies. Some days we don't feel our best, but one thing I know is that God looks at us with such a different view. And he loves us all, and he cares for us. Cast your cares on him. What do you have to lose? I mean, we were losing our minds at one point, right? Might as well just gain satisfaction, hope, and purpose through him. So yeah, y'all, this has been my Get Ready With Me story about my PCOS. If you guys want to keep up with my journey, please feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. All right? Love you. Bye.